Good morning, everybody. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Yep, I'm on the road today, but I wanted to make sure that I went live to encourage you, inspire you, empower you to be all that you can be and help you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be able to move your lives forward and live your best life. So that's my purpose. That's my goal. That's my point. Is so that you can live your best life. I trust you had a good week. I trust that you're looking for another great week, another day, another opportunity to live. I tell you what, in this season we're in, just being alive isn't. I'm appreciative to be alive one more day. I'm thankful. I'm grateful the opportunity to wake up, as the old folks say. I'm above ground. In Him I live. In Him I move, and in Him I have my being. So I am super excited today. So I'm going to get on out of your way and help you to transition to live your best life on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk. We're 24/7, great inspirational and gospel music on envision-radio.com. So the first thing is, I've been in prayer about, we've been encouraging you over the last few weeks to plan and prepare and to move forward, to go. But now the scripture in Psalm says, whatsoever a man doeth shall prosper. So you eventually, once you get all your research done, once you get all your ideas down on paper, once you journal, once you pray about it, you fast about it, you, whether you're on the road or you're at home, so you got to eventually act. Good morning. There we are. We back. So you eventually have to act. You eventually are going to have to launch. You're eventually going to have to, like we said last week, go. You're eventually going to have to act. You're going to have to tell somebody that you're open. You're eventually, good morning to everybody. Please share the video. Please leave your comments. Please tag people who need to, or who need to hear this. But you eventually are going to have to act. You're eventually going to have to do something. If you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. I want that kind of life. Just sitting around lusting and being envious and jealous of what other people are doing is not going to help you. You're going to have to look at your budget, look at your calendar, look at your time, maybe have a family meeting, but eventually you're going to have to act. This is what's been on my heart. This is what I've dreamed. This is what God showed me. Whatever that is, eventually you're going to have to act. You're going to have to move forward on that thing. You're going to have to not only just plan it out and not just dream it out, but you're going to have to do it. You know, I know people say one day I'm fitting to, but they're getting older and older, and they're delaying it and delaying it. And as you get older, you don't necessarily feel like it. You gave your best years, you gave your best energy to either helping somebody else or building their business or a corporation or a job. And that's no offense for people who are still working a job. You have to do what you have to do. You know, and people who are entrepreneurs are not necessarily they're not gonna pay your bills. So there's no criticism of that. But if you want to move toward entrepreneurship, then move toward it. Make it a side hustle and then still work your job. Let your main job, 9 to 5, fund your side hustle. That's what I did for 22 years and then built it. When it was time for my retirement, I walked, pension, but I acted. It wasn't easy. It wasn't always fun. I was tired. I worked 7 days a week, still do. I know I'm a workaholic, but I still worked 7 days a week because I had a goal. I had a dream. I couldn't wait to build my business after I retired. I could have, but I wouldn't be as far along. I wanted to gain momentum. I had a reason. I had a plan. I had not only a dream, but I acted on it. So you have to act on it. You have to get advice sometimes. You may need a coach. You may need a mentor. And if you need a mentor or you need somebody to just bounce ideas off of, and if I can't help you, I'll point you in the direction of someone who can. But talkwithroyston.com. Reach out to me and let's have a conversation. But you eventually are going to have to act. You're eventually going to have to do. And even if it's not perfect, it doesn't work out like your goal was, at least you started. You start where you start. So you're eventually going to have to act. Now, number 2, attack. Now, a lot of people, oh, that was an attack of the enemy. You got to determine whether that was, yeah, I'm stopped, but I'm back. I'm in an unstable environment, but I'm back. So when it comes to this attack, most people who know me have known me more than 10 or 15 years know I was raised apostolic. I'm Pentecostal, and we know how to plead the blood and cast out demons and when you're as attack of the enemy. But sometimes before we get the power of the blood behind us, we've got to decide, was that really an attack of the enemy, or is it something I didn't do to attack my problem? Did I not act? Did I not attack the situation as I should have, or is that really an outside attack of the enemy? Sometimes we plead the blood on stuff that we just didn't have it plugged in. I used to have a teacher who used to say, oh, the computers won't work. And I would send one of the real smart technology students and say, baby, go up under that table and see if they're plugged in. And 9 times out of 10, he would come back and say, Miss Wilson, you was right. The computer wasn't plugged in. So that wasn't an attack of the enemy. You just didn't give the computer or the operation or the program or the project all it needed to fund, to act, to do what it was supposed to do. That wasn't an attack of the enemy. No hater came after you. You didn't give it 100% of your time. You didn't promote more than a day. It's not an attack. So you have to determine, is that an attack of the outside, or you didn't attack the problem as you should? So we still should act, but sometimes we have to attack the problems. We can't ignore them. We can't just say, oh, it didn't happen. And my parents always had a business from the time I was at least 7, 8 years old. And they would say sometimes to stay in business, for good customer service, to take the low road. And you have to accept responsibility for what you did and what you didn't do if you're going to stay in business. So I learned that. And I will apologize in a minute. The attorneys I worked for years ago used to say, you're saying sorry for something you didn't even. I said, I know, it's just a habit. I say sorry. So sometimes it is an attack of the enemy. We look at it and it's a spiritual warfare. I got it. Then we know what to do. We plead the blood. We come against the enemy with the blood of Jesus, and his blood takes care of it. I got that. But then sometimes it's your own. You didn't attack the problem. You didn't solve the solution. You didn't follow up on time. So sometimes you have to act. And then when problems arise, attacks arise, then you have to attack the issue. You have to solve the problem. You have to call the person back. You have to apologize. You have to say sorry. You have to figure out a way to rectify it. So sometimes you need to start. Sometimes you need to act. Sometimes you need to determine what that attack was. Is that you didn't attack the problem correctly? Or was it an outside really attack of the enemy? And then number 3, sometimes there's an alternative action that you should take. Sometimes there's some alternative directions that you should have taken. Sometimes you have to start where you start. It's like there are some software out there that has the free version that you only get a limited amount of benefits and only a limited amount of services. And then once you bump up to the next paid version, you get a whole lot more benefits and you get a whole lot more actions that are taken. And then they take their marketing logos off your lives. But sometimes you have to start where you start. It's you got to start with the free version and deal with everybody else's logos all over your screen for a minute, or you have to deal with the limited capacity. But eventually, when you're able to move up to the next level, there may be some alternatives. Once you in your business, once you start making money, there may be some alternatives. You may be able to run some ads. You may be able to invest in a virtual assistant. You may be able to do some different things. But you got to look and weigh all the alternatives. You can't get in a vein and get stuck. You got to say, well, what are the other alternatives? I acted, yay, and I applaud you. I attacked some of the problems I had, but then are there some better options? Are there some better alternatives? Are there some better ways to handle this, even in your relationships? Well, maybe I should have said nothing that time. I want to make sure that I get what heard, but was it really? What are the alternative actions that you could take to make that relationship work? What are some alternatives to always attacking other people? Always saying it's their fault. Can you accept responsibility for what you did? So, number one, we're talking about moving forward, you got to act. Number two, sometimes you have to attack the problem. And if it is a spiritual attack, you have to attack that too. And the alternatives. And then you have to figure out, is there an alternative mode of operation? Is there an alternative to the way I act? Is there alternative to this life I'm living? Is there other alternatives to the goals and dreams? Is there another direction? Is there another avenue? And then finally, thank you so much for the comments. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And then you have to say, once you keep going, once you keep walking, once you keep figuring out what your audience is, once you determine what your career goals are, once you make that educational pursuit, you can achieve some things. You can get some things done. Now, even before the degree is done, you can do some things. Even before you change jobs and get that promotion, you can do some things. There's some things that you can achieve that if you would just act and determine there might be an alternative for the way I'm doing this or what I'm doing, or this treatment is not what God intended for me to have. Now, I might be delayed just for a few minutes, but eventually I'm going to move out of this. I'm going to achieve all that God had intended for me to achieve. I'm going to be the person God intended for me to be. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to walk in it because He's given me the strength. He's given me the power. He's given me wisdom and power to get wealth. There is a direction. He's telling me that, I may have to leap. I may have to jump. I may have to get out of my comfort zone. It may require that I speak. It may require that I stand in before audiences, even in the virtual space, even in this space, and speak to people. It may stretch me. But if I'm going to achieve and get where God intends for me to go, and believe you me, I tell coaches all the time, people that I'm coaching and people that I'm mentoring who say, God told me, I said, well, do you like sleep? They were like, oh, yeah, I'm just resting. I love sleep. I said, well, boo, if God is telling you to do a certain thing and you haven't done it yet, He's going to take you asleep. He's going to wake you up early. He's going to keep you up late at night. It's not going to work until you say yes. Old folks say yes. It's best to say yes. Even uncomfortable, say yes. Even if it's out of your comfort zone, say yes. If it's God, say yes. That's the best way. And then He'll give you the plan. He'll give you the provision. He'll give you the power. Now, if somebody else is saying it, I don't know. We have to do what He says. But if it's God, oh Lord, you better say yes quickly, because things will happen and situations will occur that will make it very uncomfortable. And like an eagle, He'll be poking you out of that nest and making you fly. So we achieve through God. We achieve through the things that He's called us to do. We achieve because old folks used to tell us it's getting late in the evening. The sun is about to go down. He could come and get us at any moment. He could come and get us at any time. So we need to occupy until He comes. So waiting and delaying, I don't know how many years, how many days, how many months. The old Andre Crouch said, any day now we'll be going home. So whatever He tells you, Do it. Whatever he is uh, um, allowing your hands to do it. Act. Get the plan, get the path, and act. Attack that issue, attack that problem. If it's something to do with your finances, you might need a financial guru. If it has something to do with your relationships, you may need a counseling. You may need therapists. If it has something to do with and Pastor Terry Jones was just in the comments. Follow him. He has uh, a service and a business that does that, that provides therapy and help with those kinds of situations, or can direct you to the people that can do that. There are people out here that can refer you. Just post it online. They can tell you. If you have a question, they say everything else on social media. Why not? Achieve, act, attack the problem, attack the issue. You find out some alternatives. Ask the people who do what you want to do, where you headed, and then achieve it. Then do it. Then be it. My father used to say, as long as human beings are designed to do that thing, you can do it. Now, don't be trying to do something a machine was designed to do or an animal was designed to do. But if God intended, He gave you the gifts, talents, skills, and abilities, and the heart and desire for it, let's achieve it. Let's do it. But start. Start where you start. Start now. Even if it doesn't turn out like you want to, start. Achieve. I trust that blesses you. I trust that helps you today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We made it through that little, as they say, Wi-Fi glitch, and we moving along. Um, so I wanted to, so upcoming appearances, events, and purchases. Of course, you can always go to for all of my digital materials, print materials, JuliaRoystonStore.com. And then I have a upcoming 10-week course. So if you're ready to write that book, you're ready to act on it and do it, and stop saying I'm gonna, I'm a fixing to. I mean, one day I'm going to. We start class Thursday night, February the 11th at 7 p.m. You can sign up for that class at bkroystonpublishing.com. Click on the classes button, and you can definitely will be ready to start. The login comes 24 hours before, and we'll be ready to start immediately at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Lord willing, on February the 11th, Thursday evening. Yes, you are provided the replays. I send those within 48 hours of the class, and any handouts. I teach from my own textbook. I have lesson plans and my own ebook, Write That Book Now, and all of that. I teach from all of my materials. I kind of have as they say, a control issue about that. But I teach normally from my own materials and my own handouts. So super excited about that. So that's the next class coming out on the pipe. Also on Thursday, February the 11th, I am going to be streaming to Stephen Foster Traditional Academy in Louisville, Kentucky. It's for Black History Month. So if your child goes to Foster, that's where I'll be talking about my books and reading from my books too as well. So super excited about that opportunity. I have another one on February the 18th. I'll be at Jacob Elementary as well, along with 4 other authors. Look for that graphic coming out this week. And the week of February 15th through that entire week will be a virtual book fair. So any of the in the BK Royston Book Fair store.com, in that store, any purchases for that week, 20% of those profits will go to Jacob Elementary. So if you are interested in a virtual book fair, 20% of the profits sold are invested right back to the school, and that's given directly back to the school. All the books are delivered in a nice BK Royston box with the backpack and a mask and bookmarks and all kinds of other goodies. I even have a little small stuffed animal that goes in there so as well. So if you're interested in that for your organization, library, for your school, nonprofit, your church, let me know. They're all family friendly books, and I have probably about 40 titles out there. So that's next week as well. And then coming up at 10 a.m., Live Your Best Life on Envision Radio. Envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk. You can also download the apps on your phone or mobile, not just on the computer, but also the Simple Radio app, radio.com, Tuner, My Tuner Radio, radio.garden app, and many, many more to come. So my special guest is Bishop Billy Wiedemeyer, who's going to be, he's a wonderful financial guru and gives some down to earth basic tips for just people. He's like, I am, um, of course, he's a spiritual leader as well, but his day job is he's really a financial investment risk manager. So join us on envision-radio.com, where my special guest is Bishop Billy Wiedemeyer from in California. So I was super excited to have him on. We had a wonderful conversation, even talking about ministry during the pandemic, after the pandemic. What does that mean? Getting back to the basics of ministry. So head on over in about 10 minutes to envision-radio.com. And then, of course, right after that, at 11 a.m. is Miss Cheryl Underwood, the businesswoman, the author, comedian, actor, um, and television celebrity. Miss Cheryl Underwood comes on Envision Radio at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The best Bible study on radio, internet radio. She also has a church shout out line. So call in, shout out your church, shout out your pastor at 1-855-Cheryl1. That's 1-855-743-7951. That's 855-743-7951. Miss Cheryl Underwood heard every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on Envision Radio. You all be blessed in all that you do, all that you say, and of course, today, tomorrow, and always achieve, live your best life. I'm Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing. I don't think I said that earlier. Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the Book Business Bosses, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and live your best life. Have a great day. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love, love. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome. Live your best life and have an awesome day.